Welcome to the DYB podcast, where each week we share strategies and stories to inspire you to double your business so that you can have financial freedom, time for your family, and make an impact in your community. And now, this week's episode.
What happened?
So we're on a big exterior by the coast, and it had been a long, drawn-out project. This is a few years ago when we were still doing new construction, and the whole house was like kind of dark gray and black and just very modern looking. And all on the quote, it said doors all black, all the doors black. And there was a brand new garage door installed that was very intricate. It wasn't your standard metal overhead door. It was probably, I found out it was about a $9,000 garage door. And our paint team, or the lead on the job, like the second to last day, he sprayed the door black with DTM. He sprayed the door black, and the customer was not pleased. Actually, furious was probably the right word. And so we bought a new garage door for that job. And that was one of those instances where I can laugh about it now. But it was one of those things where from then on, all my quotes had the line item for garage door, yes or no, and then man door, yes or no. So, differentiating what is a door and what is a garage door, because that was an expensive mistake. For sure.
Yeah.
Ouch. Unfortunately.
We all make them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What happened? What happened to the garage door that you bought?
The garage door company took it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, hard lessons learned. We've all got them. That's why it's great to share, so we can relate alike. So, to everybody listening and watching, hello and welcome back to the DYB podcast. Our mission is to help you to build profitable businesses so that you can have financial freedom, time for your families, and make an impact in your communities. And somebody who's certainly doing such is Seth Peak, who's back on the show. He was first on episode 88. And in that episode, he talked about implementing the DYB system, his 3P process, how he got out of the bucket, the gift of desperation. We took a deep dive into that. That was really cool. How he divorced GCs, networking the right way, owning the first page at Google, and many other points and keys there about how he had originally doubled his business from 300 to 700,000. And there's a system, as April's waving it across. But today he's back on with us because he's, doubled again. All right, Seth? Yeah, so
definitely.
Yeah, and since then he's come on and he's hosted mastermind groups and he's hosted classes in DYB as far as implementing certain tech, and I'll wait and let him kind of share some of that because that'll involve some updates with his tech stack as well. So Seth Peak, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So what are we, just real quick, so last time around the show, we doubled from 300 to 7. What are we tracking to this year?
We're tracking to 1.8. We're just about 1 million right now, and we have quite a bit on the books for the next 2 months. Mm-hmm. And typically the fall here in California is just as busy as the summer. So we're looking, the lead flow is up. So looking for about 1.8 in revenue and probably 2 in sales.
And so it's safe to say a lot has changed from 700 to 1.8.
Yeah, a lot has changed, and a lot has stayed the same in terms of, the system we follow, but a lot has changed in terms of size and procedures. Yeah.
How many painters did we have at 700, do you recall?
I think it was 8. It's fluctuated 7 to 9 that summer. 7 to 9. Yeah. Okay. And I was running at that time. I was running the office, estimating, and everything.
Okay. And remind me, did you had just got your first shop? Was that correct? Right about then, or was it shortly after?
So we got our shop in March 2020, March 2nd, 2020. So it was 2 weeks before we had to kind of pivot. I'll just say that. So we had the shop for that whole summer. Yeah. And that was great. That was a great
cool.
decision.
Okay. And how many painters do we have in the field currently? Or the team? You want to give an
13.
overview? So 13. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have office assistant, admin assistant, Chelsea. She's in here full time in the shop, 8 to 4. David and myself are the estimators. I think currently David, we call him Davey, but David to customers, he's doing about 60 to 70% of the quotes. I'm doing 40 to 30% depending. And we have 13 painters in the field. We have 6 2-man crews and one man. We call him the paint tech. He's kind of the filler, the little job guy, and it's working out great that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What are some of the major shifts or changes that you've made to break through the million mark? And we're peaking at 2 million now.
I would say the biggest for me, kind of hearkening back to the last time you interviewed me on the show, was getting rid of the Superman cape. And I think delegating is where the rubber meets the road for me. It even happened yesterday morning. I get stressed about my morning schedule, and all it takes is call. I called David. I was like, it's 6:45. Like, can you go to Morro Bay and check on this job later? He's like, sure. I'm like, whew. Don't bunch of stress for no reason. And I think the delegation point has been awesome, especially with once I had an office, like an admin assistant here in the office, being able to delegate and teach and trust that, okay, now she knows what she needs to do and hold that role accountable, and delegate to the team leaders on what they need to do to manage their own projects. And it really helps. It really helps the flow, and for me not to feel like I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, which is dangerous when you get over especially over the million mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron.
What point did you hire and bring on an admin person for the company?
Last July, we actually I think we had 12 painters last summer. It wasn't as streamlined as it is this summer, but I brought in an admin assistant. It's the tough one to say. Admin assistant.
It's early for those listening and watching. It's very early.
Yeah, it's California. It's 6:30 in California.
Yeah, don't let that sunshine out April's East Coast window fool you.
I think what it was, I listened to my wife, who's involved in the business in terms of more of an advisory role. She looks over the finances. She helps me make decisions, and she was just seeing that I was running pretty hard, and so she actually took it upon herself to interview and find an admin assistant for me, which I highly recommend if you have a significant other, to let them do that. And so it was last July. I had 12 painters, and I was the only estimator, and so it was time.
So you brought in. Oh, sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just going to move on to the estimator, but if we still have admin questions, go ahead.
Oh, so you hired the admin assistant before the next estimator?
Yeah, because I think that if you have a healthy painting company and a lot of your team leads are handling the day-to-day management of their projects, I really think, I know because I sold 1.5 last year by myself. If you have help in the office, you could easily do estimates at 1.2 to 1.5 million a year. And so I felt at the time that was my pain point, and also the overhead expense of a $19, $20, $21 an hour admin assistant is much more palatable than a salary plus commission estimator. So
yes,
for that season, I wanted to just grind on the sales myself.
Awesome.
So we see a lot of people talking, social media and within our groups, of when to hire an estimator. Do you bring someone in from the team, promote them up? How did you go about that?
Well, under Steve's advice, I did last December. I took 2 guys, David and Leif, and I alternated days and let them do estimates. I shadowed them and then let them do their own, and just kind of see who was more natural at it and who did a better job with it. And we went one way, and then a few months ago we went back the other way because one of them ended up leaving the company. So we did that. There were 2 painting foremen. One of them, we call them team leaders. So one team leader had been painting for about 7 years with another company and then with us. And the other one was only about a year or 2 in, but he was just a natural leader, natural craftsman. And he ended up being, who's now the estimator, David, our all-star, coming into, I think, May. He got the promotion when Leif left. But I really liked the fact that they were already in the company, because the way my personality, where everyone has a different personality, I like to go based on trust, and like I already know them, I can interact with them. It was just a natural thing for them to. They already had camaraderie with all the employees, so
yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And I guess the question, you don't have to answer this and pass if you'd like. Is it a base and commission, or is it just a salary?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you might get different answers. In California, there's a lot of different labor laws. We can't call him an outside salesperson because he is going on jobs. He is climbing ladders. So he's technically, under California Workers' Comp Code, he's called a project manager. So in order to have that, it's 2 times minimum wage plus commission. So the minimum salary someone like that can have is, here in California, in our town, is $28 an hour. And then that's a salaried $28 an hour. And then we do 8% of gross profit. So it incentivizes them to, check in, make sure the guys are working efficiently, help the team leaders hone in on their job costing and efficiency skills, so that, because the sales estimator is making their money after the job's done. So it's actually an incentive, and it ends up being about a $6,000 paint job. They're making like 170. I can't, the math is kind of, I'm not really good at that. The spreadsheet doesn't do that, but it makes it to where if they're closing out 3 jobs a week and he's on salary, he's making around $1,800, $1,900 a week.
That's nice. Good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Tech stack has been updated since a recent podcast. What changes have you made to streamline the business through a tech stack?
So I know we were using Monday then, Monday.com for project management and office management. We use it a lot more for office admin and organization now as well. The way our flow goes is we have You Can Book Me, and that captures the intake form, for the appointment or for the customer, and then it goes from there into now it's Active Campaign, right, April?
Yeah.
And so Active Campaign is kind of like the database for mailing and emails and newsletters and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And then from there, it goes into Paint Scout, which is our estimating program. We switched from Estimate Rocket to Paint Scout earlier this year, or April or so. And then from there, Pipeline Deals, which is now called the Pipeline CRM. Man, there's so many of them.
Right.
Company Cam has been a good one. We've been starting to use more this summer. We love that for photos and notations and everything like that. And the real brain of the business is Monday.com, Monday app. It's a difficult name because you say put it on Monday and like, well, I was going to, but no, it's like App Monday, not the day. You're like constantly saying the app, Monday, the app, Yeah.
Yeah, I always say Monday.com.
Yeah, Monday.com. They're like, it's not my phone, it's an app, it's not a .com. So Monday is the brain behind the whole business. But switching to Paint Scout was really important because it created a lot more ease in order to get to doing our estimates on the spot, the templates and everything. Yeah. And am I missing something?
No, I think you've got most of them. Then you have them, many of them automated, connected.
Yeah.
So are you
together,
using
right?
Delighted?
So we're not using Delighted. So let me double back a little bit. So they're all connected. DYB Virtual, DYB Coach, their automation offering has tied it all together, so there's no input from us from one program to another. Once somebody goes into You Can Book Me, it's pretty much just a waterfall where it goes from there. The only thing we have to do is, the customer will click accept. We click done on Monday. We do like just the little inputs like that. But we don't have to re-enter them in every single program that we use, which is great, and highly recommend it. But the what was the last thing you said, Steve?
Oh, just automations, I believe. Yeah, zaps.
Yeah.
Streamlining tech stack, freeing up your time, your admin's time, getting rid of duplicate, quadruple, quintuple entries.
Well, true. And then, the guys they're on the job site. They can pull up Monday. They can open the work order PDF. They can type in their comments every day, their updates to the job. We can say, paint ordered. I mean, we can say customer prefers that we start on this side of the house the first day. All these different notes, it all goes in there. But, Monday.com is useful we use it for our employee database. We use it for interviews, intake, hiring form, everything like that. And then most recently, the biggest program that we implemented was grade.us, and that captures our net promoter score. Like if you ever go to, I don't know, let's say you go to Dick's Sporting Goods and it says, you get an email, it says from 0 to 10, how was your experience? That's an NPS, net promoter score, and it kind of helps the companies know where they fall on the graph of customer satisfaction. And what's cool about the Grade Us, the way ClickWiz programmed it and DYB Virtual automated it all into Monday, is that when we push done on the program on a Monday, when the job's done, the team leader finishes the job, gets a check, pushes done, the customer sent this email that says, how did we do? And then if they put 7 to 10, it sends them to a Google review link. If they do less than 7, which has happened once or twice, it sends them to a customer feedback form. So it steers them away from leaving you a review online as much as it can, it's good for us internally, because sometimes when you get a bad review, it's not totally justified. Sometimes it could be. Sometimes it's just a guy at 7-Eleven that's upset you're not wearing a mask or something like that, which has happened to me.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time.
You're still getting the feedback as well. And it's just that you're not encouraging them to write a review. They may write a review, and that's great too, because it's another opportunity for you, if they give you a bad review, to respond to them. So it's not like you are afraid of the bad reviews. It's just steering them like, okay, great, let's get the feedback so that we can help them without having to go public with it if they don't want to. You're not steering them that way.
That's the whole point. Yeah, exactly.
So Seth, with the numbers you're going to sell this year and your crews are going to perform, where are all these leads coming from?
I would say that it's referrals and repeat. Last I checked was about 2 weeks ago, and we were at 65% referrals and repeat. And then the rest has been Google, because we are in the top 3 pack pretty much for most communities in our area. I think we have about the third or fourth, I think the second or third most Google reviews in our area, very kind of rural county. And then sporadically in there is like, we have the paint store, we have Terra Paints, Benjamin Moore. But I kind of consider those referral as well, because we don't pay for those leads. We just have the relationship, And then Rotary, I think last year Rotary, we did like 100,000 in from Rotary and networking groups. So there's a lot of things that fall within the referral and repeat sphere. But in terms of paid, we experimented this year with running some Google click ads, and they're not as good. The closing ratio on Google leads is like 20%. The closing ratio on a referral repeat's like 70. So, we could be, a very healthy painting company without any paid ads at all. because most of our revenue is coming from referral and repeat. We just kind of have a little bit on the back burner just because we're a certain size,
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How are you keeping in touch with those so that they do refer you, that you do get the repeats? What are the things you're doing? I know what you're doing, but I'm just asking for those that don't know.
So we have a super awesome monthly e-newsletter that we get responses to. We get phone calls and we get emails from that newsletter. The newsletters, this is what's happening in your county, or this is what's happening in your town. Here's a cool, Halloween cookie recipe. Here's a dad joke. Here's a cool picture. Here's our blog post, how to refinish a deck. Just very simple, very just easy to read, easy to see. Gets it out there.
No sales, no coupons.
No sales, no coupons. Yeah, good point.
GIE, yes.
And we've been doing greeting cards. We call them send out cards, but we don't use that company, but it's just easier to say send out cards. And our local printer, we just get a greeting card of a dog splashing in the waves, and I'll do a handwritten note inside, print them all. Happy summer from S Peak Painting. Hope you're having a good one. And we do those every quarter for the past year and a half or so. And every time we do those, we get the last 2 times about 3 quotes from sending out those cards, or even just people saying, hey, thanks for the card, right? Or we see them in town, with 30,000 people here, you run into people more often than some other cities.
Sure.
And then, I would say that when we're looking for more leads, especially in the winter, I've been doing written letters to past customers. And so we'll say about our cabinet painting offerings, and we'll send those out to past customers. Staying in touch with past customers is kind of the theme of everything we're saying here. Because people that are stoked about what you do, they're going to hire you again, but sometimes it's not in the top of their mind. Painting the fascia on their house is not but it needs to happen. So as soon as you get the greeting card, it kind of sparks their memory. And we want to work for people that like us. We don't want to try to make people like us. It's easier to work for this referrals than it is to work for people fresh out the gate. Don't know you from Adam.
They already know, like, and trust you.
Yeah. So, pardon me, April. To that point, Seth, you're crushing step 5 in the DYB system, and that's ABCs of sales. Always be connecting. Rotary. You have a networking group. I forget the name of it. Because you had switched from BNI to the, pardon me? Yeah, the new one, it's called Strategic Alliance. That's not a Strategic Alliance. Yeah. So you're crushing step 5, and you're crushing step 9, which is stay top of mind, which we were just discussing, the newsletters, the ABA newsletters with gratitude, inspiration, entertainment, and then the cards you're sending out to them. And there it is. April's holding it up. And there are, however, the talking heads out there, right, are talking about a recession coming. So we know that, to the point you just made, referrals are so much better than the paid leads. Now, if a recession's coming, people are going to be less apt, even more, to hire somebody on Google, right? And they're going to lean more on referrals. So if a recession's coming, in fact, if the talking heads keep talking about a recession, people are naturally going to stop spending as much. Therefore, creating the recession, whether it's before or after, if that happens, then we know that referrals are going to be even more important, right? So what are we doing moving forward to get ahead of this recession, to crush it, and even if there is a recession?
Well, we're doubling down on our customer experience on the job site, first and foremost. Our number one customer is kind of our team members. So cultivating that all-star team, so that way when they're on the job site, it's going to be that much more of a great experience for the customer. Focusing on that more so than the actual physical job itself, right? That comes first, the customer experience. And then, at the end of the job, making sure that they're completely satisfied, staying in touch with them. We're rolling out again the cookie cans. David's actually working on getting a source for, so we can give the A+ customers, our cookies, a little gift at the end of the job. really doubling down on our networking. David's joining a local Rotary Club, maybe another networking group here shortly, and just really creating relationships in the community, doing one-to-ones. I'd like to be able to go out to lunch. About twice a week, I go out to lunch with somebody just to network and another professional in the area and see how we can help each other. It's not always somebody who's in one of my networking circles, but it's often somebody who I enjoy speaking with, and I like a mentor of sorts. Community spotlights for sure are awesome because it helps the other person that you're interviewing. I know that John Ray in San Diego does a great job of these, and they're really cool because you're really helping them, the community, see who like and trust, and so they're going to be using you as the source of who should I hire for landscaping. Oh yeah, Seth. I like Seth. Seth likes this guy. Because oftentimes our customers in our community, they're not as keyed in maybe to the business world. If they're a W-2 employee somewhere, they don't have as many connections as maybe a local entrepreneur.
A good point. John is doing a fantastic job. Thank you. And for those out there, Seth's referring to ABAs, which are step 6. These are ads that look like anything but advertising, and the idea is just be remarkable out there for your community. Now, you mentioned John Ray is doing a great job with the community spotlights. He's in your mastermind. You're in MG1. What can you share your experience? Because you've changed masterminds. You were in another one. And how has your experience been? What's the value? What's it like to have, I would say, a board of directors, where you can get real and honest and get feedback and share alike with?
I want to double back for 1 second because I forgot one ABA that's super important, and I feel like it's often understated is the warranties. Fulfilling warranties and having a warranty. Our warranty is 9 years, and everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, 9 years!" It never fails. Everyone goes, "Oh my gosh, 9 years! That's incredibly long." But it's not. How often are you going to be going back and actually physically repainting entire house? You might have to go back and paint a fascia board that's peeling in the sun, or patch some stucco and paint a wall, take you 2 hours. But if you're going back and doing that warranty, you're fulfilling your promise, and you're also at the customer's house again. I mean, that implies that, there's a chance that there might be more work to do. And I really think that every time we've gone back to do a service, a warranty, even if it's like a touch-up, sometimes it's a touch-up, it's 2 years later, and they're like, I found a spot that, a ladder was sitting against the wall, and there's a spot up in the eave that didn't get painted. We can go back and touch that up, and they're just, every time they're raving about how awesome that we actually, it's mentioned in reviews sometimes, they actually came back 2 years later, So the warranties is a thing in step 6 that is often not as cool as the other ones, in terms of
scary. People think it's scary.
It's scary.
It's not. It's just honoring your word. And how many times do we buy something and it's oh, well, it broke a week later. It didn't do what it was supposed to. But you're actually, keeping that customer a customer for life and taking care of them. People just want to know that what they buy, they made a good investment. So it's scary, but it is totally worth it. And the fear is, it's just a lie. It's not really there. You just have to overcome that. And so great job, Seth. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Here's the paradox with that. Pardon me. May I jump in? Is that most guys are like, can I see your contract? What do you have that protects you against this? And how do you handle touch-ups and callbacks? When that's the wrong mindset. It needs to be, if something comes up, go take care of it. And this is how you create raving fans who refer you for years on end. Right.
Yeah. We have to go back in 3 weeks from a job we did a year ago, and the cinder block walls bubbling everywhere, everywhere. And it's not going to be less than 2 days of work, but we're going back and we're going to do it. And the lady was at the paint store and she called me from there. She's like, I can't remember my color. I'm going to paint some posts. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll see you in 3 weeks. She's like, you're the best. She's just she's like, I'm surprised that you're even you answer the phone and that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to come back and just fix it for free. You know, it's part of the warranty, you know? So
Yeah.
Awesome.
A couple of points I would like to touch on before we roll out. One is the value of mastermind, and then also the value of exercise and
yes.
in your life and in your business. So you can go ahead and approach those in any order you choose, but those are the last two big points I'd like for you to share before we roll out today, please.
Yeah, so I started with Mastermind 7 in 2019, May, I think, early June. And it was great. It was just awesome from the get-go when I was just building my business the first year. Lots of feedback. There was awesome members in that group like Michael from Oregon, Pat from Alexandria, Virginia. Ron was our coach. It was like the first time I was like, my eyes were like open to like, oh, I could get feedback from other people. It's like that, like you say, the board of directors for your painting company. And, you know, people that have implemented things that are already working for them. And so, you know, accountability as well, you know, checking in every other week to see how we're doing. And then I think when I hit the $1 million mark, I got switched over at $1.2 million. We got switched over to the Mastermind 1 OMG original Mastermind. And that's been huge too, because there's a lot more challenges when you get over like 800,000. I've heard it be called like the Death Valley stretch. I don't like that term. I think it's more of like the sprint stretch. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And
I agree.
And so when you reach like over 800,000 to $1 million, the problems you're having are, you know, there's a lot more things that are procedural, office admin, budgets, percentages. Like there's a lot more intricacies. When you're below like 700, a lot of the feedback you need is how to build a team. Like step one, you know, your all-star team, and then how to determine your target market, and then maybe getting into like some of the other things. But like a lot of the guys when they're new, it's more of like, how do I get good all-stars to build my business? And then once you get to a certain point, the other mastermind helped me, you know, hone in on what my goals are, how to reach my profit goals, how to reach my, you know, every little thing, how to dial in, you know, an office admin role and things like that. So the different masterminds are curated for where you are in your journey. And you do, you know, at a certain point you would graduate into another if you're growing successfully. But I can't say enough about masterminds. I've led them, I've hosted them before, and they're really fun. They're really fun to see how other people are doing and see how other people are fired up about it. You get as much as you put in, I would say that. And attendance is meeting makers make it, I guess. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. There's not enough to say.
Right. Because it's all, you know, everything is shared there is in confidence. So you can't really like go into examples or whatnot. Right. Because which the other part of that is cool, because you can go there and share anything. And we do deep dives, financials, you know, and into all of it.
You're in a group. You're in a group. And so we have the sidebar chat, you know, it's on Group Me. It's kind of like a Slack line if you're familiar with Slack. But like on Group Me, like the whole mastermind's in this thing. So during the week, we're asking questions, we're giving encouragement, we're sharing photos of our fitness, our workouts, holding each other accountable that way. And to kind of roll into that is like fitness is a huge part of my my mental health and my physical health. You know, if I'm not sweating for 30 minutes a day minimum, I can feel it, and it's really been an improvement in my overall mental health and my physical health. So I do a lot of cross training, you know, a lot of running, surfing, whatever I can do. I have a busy brain. And so I need to slow it down and release that dopamine naturally, instead of the alternative. But, I really, really endorse anybody to get out and exercise, you know, elevate your heart rate for a minimum of 20 minutes a day. Really will reduce your stress over time, especially as a business owner. I prefer to do it in the morning. If I can't do it in the morning, do it right after work.
Here's
my wife,
Go Go ahead.
And my wife she's noticed a difference, and she will tell me, she's like, it's like a Saturday morning, and she's like, before we go out and we do this and that, like, you need to go work out. She knows that like I'm in a much better husband space when I've exerted some energy. Yeah.
That's great. Now, an interesting something we find interesting is, we have different mastermind groups, and the guys that are doing over 1 million exercise every day. So it's like the chicken or the egg. What happened? Did they get over 1 million, start exercising, or did they start exercising and break over that 1 million mark, which I believe is true. And the groups that are doing over 1 million are just crushing exercise every day, because once you experience the benefit of it, you want more of that, because if I hear you correctly, Seth, it clears your head, it lowers your cortisol, which allows you to deal with more stress without feeling stressed out. Right. And speaking to working out, so I heard you say get started with 20 minutes. It was Ron, back when we were living in San Diego, April, who recommended the Couch to 5K app for me. And he's like, hey, I know you don't sit on the couch all day, right? But what it does is it paces you, it helps you get started. And so I did. I think I even have like pictures of Samuel and I down in the gym on the treadmill, and it starts you off real easy. Couch to 5K. It's on all the app stores or Google Play, and it's the perfect way to get started. And that's what we do, and we encourage clients and guys to get started. Just start with the Couch to 5K. It's easy, it paces you, and it's an easy way to get started. But if you want to have less stress, and it even creates brain-derived nootropic factors, right, which are cells in your brain to help you to become smarter, help you to learn faster, to be more creative, and to release endorphins and dopamine and all those happy chemicals. And especially if you're going into winter, it helps you beat depression. So people who have, seasonal affective disorder, which is real common up north, so yes, it's like, exercise, right, Seth?
You can also eat a donut now and then.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You get
the best thing about being really in keeping up with your fitness is that's true right there. Saturday, I have my ritual donut. I have a donut on Saturday. I'm not that strict. I live in coastal California. I eat Mexican food like 4 or 5 days a week, but it's like street tacos. It's just tortillas, meat, and salsa. I mean, what's wrong with that? But also to I'm trying to since I get so into it, I started building a gym here in the shop. I started a squat rack and some kettlebells and everything. And so couple employees have been using it after work, and it's just, we leave each other little notes on there, but it's just encouraging everybody to get into it, to get fit in whatever way that looks to you, for sure.
So for our parting words of wisdom for our listeners out there, maybe they're at the say 700 mark, and they need to bust through the sprint to break through to 1 million. What are some final words of encouragement for them?
Strategically, I would say be very deliberate with your calendar, time blocking your calendar throughout the week and sticking to it. That would be number one. And number two, it's hard. It's always hard for everyone. And you have to work very hard certain seasons of your life to get to where you want to be. I think a lot of times I talk to guys and they go like, this is just, I'm so stressed out, I can't do it. It's like, you just have to implement and move forward and work your tail off until you get to your goal. And if you never get there and it seems like it's just a couple years dragging on, maybe reevaluate, your goal or see from there. But I always tell people it is hard. It's hard for everyone. It's just a matter of how how you deal with it and how hard you can work for it,
Okay.
But,
awesome. That's it.
Seth, Seth, you're doing a great job. A lot of people don't realize how much work it is. They just see the outside, but there's a lot of work that you put into it. You got to pat yourself on the back now and then.
Yep.
Thank you, Ron.
Well done. Way to go. And thank you, Seth, for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This concludes the update. And again, Seth's been on the team. And so guys who are reaching out to him, just know that if you reach out to him directly, he doesn't have a lot of free time, so please respect that. And he does do some coaching with us as well, and so it would be appropriate to maybe hire him rather than reach out for all the freebies, because he can't facilitate all of the free questions that come. He does what he can because he's a great guy, but please know that he's awfully busy. And when he says he works really hard, he's not kidding. He's also a realtor, so he went and got his realtor license on his hour off one day. So
I would say the best way, I'm more than happy to get back to people, but the best way is just to email me. It can be either Seth@speakpainting.com or Seth@dybcoach.com. I will get back to you. That's probably the best way to get with me, and rather than direct message. So feel free to email me if you have any questions.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, Seth, April, Ron, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Dream big, hustle smarter. You've got this.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If this was helpful, please share it with a friend to help inspire them to double their business. Again, this is April Burnett. Steve and I are the founders of Burnett Painting and DYB Coach. We want to take a moment and thank you for making us the most rated podcast dedicated specifically to painting contractors. To celebrate, we want to help you break through to higher success. So Steve is now giving away free strategy calls. Just click the link below in the show notes that says free strategy call. There are only a couple of openings on his calendar each week, so get your free call with Steve now. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to dream big, hustle smarter, you've got this.